Guys, it has been a wild couple of days. Would you guys like to hear about it? The story starts around a little bit before Christmas time, 2019. A very good friend of mine from high school, Jackie, is getting married to a man named Dave. And she contacted me and asked me if I would be interested in making her wedding cake. My first response was, "Are you sure that's what you want to have done?" But she said yes, definitely, and that her and Dave were in agreement. That's what they wanted. So I said, okay, well, the next time you guys are in town, by the way, they live out of state. The next time you guys are in town, I'll arrange a tasting and I'll give you guys a bunch of flavors and stuff. You tell me what types of flavors you're interested in and I'll make a bunch of testers for you. And if it works out, it works out. If it doesn't, it doesn't. And it's okay. I'm not going to take offense. Well, anyway, I did meet with them, and here's the aftermath of that. All right, so it is a mere few days after Christmas 2019, and I have just got done meeting with Jackie and Dave for the very first time to discuss the cake. So today we discussed what it was that they wanted in terms of cake, or I should say cakes at this point, and also we discussed flavors. So the first thing that we sort of talked about was what it was that they were expecting in terms of cake for the wedding, and as it turns out, they do not really want to have sort of like the traditional big multi-tiered wedding cake. What they are more interested in is doing cupcakes for everybody to have. And then having a smaller 6-inch tier for them to slice for sort of like the traditional cake cutting part of the wedding. So that's what they're gonna get. They're gonna get a huge amount of cupcakes of different flavors, and then they're also gonna get a small 6-inch tier. Now, the other thing that we discussed was, of course, flavors, and I had a bunch of samples and stuff for them to try. Jackie is more of a lady who likes chocolate as well as coffee and likes the combination of those two. And then Dave is more of a vanilla guy and also very cookies and cream. He likes that sort of flavor. So I had a bunch of different combinations for them to try of different frostings, different flavors of cakes, and things like that. And so what they finally decided upon was to have some of the cupcakes be a cookies and cream cake with a cookies and cream frosting, which I thought was very good. It was Dave's favorite cupcake to have. And then Jackie's favorite cupcake was a chocolate cake with a coffee frosting. So those are going to be sort of like the two specialized cupcakes. And then the other cupcakes that they wanted was a chocolate cupcake and a vanilla cupcake, and then some of those will have vanilla frosting, and then some of them will have a mocha frosting, so sort of like a combo of chocolate and coffee together. So those are going to be the cupcakes that they have. And then for their small 6-inch tier, they want to have a chocolate cake with a mocha chocolate mousse filling and then a vanilla frosting on the outside. We also discussed a few things in terms of design and things like that, which you'll get to see me trying a little bit later. So the next time that you see me, I will be testing some things out design-wise after I talk a little bit more with Jackie and Dave about sort of like colors that they want or anything that they want on top of the cake and everything like that. I have to say, I'm feeling very good at this point having a conversation with them, because I won't lie to you guys, when Jackie asked me to do this, I was a little bit nervous because I've never done a wedding before. Hey guys, so Editing Joe here, and as it turns out, the statement you just heard was a lie. I have actually done a wedding before. I did the cupcakes for my friends Bethany and Phil when they got married, but in my defense, that was 11 years ago, and my memory is not that good now that I'm an old man. But anyway, back to the video. But what they're asking for is incredibly simple, and I am so thankful for that because it is genuinely what they want, and it is something that I know that I can provide for them, and I know that I can do very well for them, which makes me happy because me and Jackie have been friends for a very long time, and I'm so happy that she's getting together with Dave, and I want to be able to do a good job for them. So I'm super excited, super stoked, and I'm super excited for you guys to come along in this journey. So again, the next time you'll see me, I'll be testing some things out. So see you then. Then, disaster.
This is truly an unprecedented situation.
This virus doesn't discriminate. It attacks everyone.
I want every American to be prepared for the hard days that lie ahead.
The coronavirus has changed life as we know it across America.
Okay, so here's what happened. The clip that you just saw was filmed a year and a half ago at this point. So Jackie and Dave were supposed to get married in August, the beginning of August of that year. But then the world sort of fell apart. So in order to sort of ensure that they were going to have a wedding that people could come to, they decided to postpone the wedding until the end of July of this year, okay? So things have been postponed, but now everything's back on track. So a year and a half later, I'm now back here to start testing designs for the cupcakes. Now, I also need to do a little playing around with, of course, the design for the 6-inch cake as well. But I've decided to fiddle with that on my own and not film that part of the process, and I'll show you guys that in the sort of the big reveal on the actual wedding day. So what I've already done here is I've created the different types of cupcakes that I'm going to need to do all of my tests. So I made Oreo cupcakes, vanilla cupcakes, and chocolate cupcakes, and that covers all of my bases. So I'm just gonna make all the different types of buttercream and then start testing with different designs and things. I haven't really ever done a vlog before, so this is a new experience for me. So yeah, bear with me as I'm trying to figure out this new way of filming something. Now, the other thing is that they finally decided on colors. So I think the two main ones that she told me were going to be like a deep navy blue and then like a blush color. So what I've done is I baked off the cupcakes in cupcake liners that are like a navy blue. So you guys can see sort of like that navy blue color on the cupcake liner. But I also bought these things over here, which are sort of little like cupcake wrappers, and that's in like the blush color that they were talking about. So that's gonna go sort of around the cupcake liner as more of like a decoration. At least that's my idea right now. We'll see if they like it when I send them the final pictures. But yeah, so I'm gonna get started with my buttercream. All right, so my buttercream is made up, and you guys saw the big powdered sugar explosion that happened inside of my mixer. But I've cleaned that all up now because one of the things that I like to do as I'm working is to sort of clean as I go, just because it makes you feel better at the end when you don't have this gigantic pile of things to clean. Plus also working cleaner, working neater makes things a little bit more organized. But anyway, I have to make 4 different kinds of buttercream for these cupcakes. So we need a vanilla buttercream, so that's gonna be this one. All right, so that one's done, finished. I also need to make a cookies and cream buttercream. I also need to make a a mocha buttercream, and then also a coffee flavored buttercream. So I'm gonna do those. The first one I'm gonna do, of course, is the cookies and cream, because that one's easy. I'm just gonna take some of these Oreos, and we're gonna crush them up into there. I don't think I'm gonna need any more than 4, but we'll see. And we'll use my favorite crushing tool, all right, the rolling pin. All right, and we'll smash those up. All right, there we go. And now we're gonna add those in to our buttercream. You gotta make sure there's no big chunks, because if there's big chunks inside of it, then it's not gonna fit through the nozzle of our piping bag when we pipe out the frosting. And then just mix that up. All right, I think that looks good. There you go. So that's our cookies and cream buttercream that will go on top of those cupcakes. Yum. The next one I'm gonna do is the coffee buttercream. And for that, I'm gonna use some instant espresso powder. And I'm not gonna add the espresso powder right to the buttercream, because I don't want there to be like little flecks of coffee in there. I want it to be just like uniformly colored. So I'm actually gonna take and dissolve this in some water first, and then add that into the buttercream. So this way it's nice and smoothly textured. Smells like coffee. All right, and then we want to add a little bit of that, a little bit at a time, because coffee is a strong flavor. We add a little bit of a time to our buttercream, and we'll see how that does. Oh, definitely more. Definitely more. You want it to actually taste like coffee. Nope, still needs more. Man, it's taking a lot of coffee.
Coffee is a strong flavor.
It's making me bonkers, man. Now I don't remember how much flavoring I added when I did this for them a year and a half ago. All right, well, we're just gonna add it all. Hope for the best, although I can already see the buttercream starting to split a little bit, which means I'm just gonna have to add a little bit of sugar. All right, that's definitely more like coffee. But it's starting to break, so I have to add a little bit more sugar. I think what I'm gonna do on the day is instead of adding, I'm gonna make a whole batch of the coffee buttercream, and then instead of adding the milk to the buttercream recipe, I'm just gonna add coffee instead. Ooh, snaps.
Working cleaner, working neater, makes things a little bit more organized.
Definitely good. All right, but it's still a little bit broken even after I add the sugar, so what I'm gonna do, problem solving, is I'm gonna throw this into the fridge for a little bit, let it firm up, and then mix it up again, and then hopefully it'll be the right consistency. So this is good, you're learning how to problem solve with me. So the last frosting that I have to make is the mocha frosting. Now I asked them, because this is going on like the plain chocolate and vanilla cupcakes, and I asked them if they wanted just plain chocolate, and I gave them the plain chocolate flavor. But when they tasted the mocha flavored frosting, they really liked that, because obviously coffee is helping to bring out the flavor of the chocolate. Coffee and chocolate really go well together. So the way that I'm gonna turn this into mocha buttercream is, of course, I'm gonna first add the chocolate. And so I'm gonna add some melted chocolate that has been melted and cooled into the buttercream. You have to cool it or else it starts to melt your butter. I'm gonna start with about half of it. It was 4 ounces that was in there. We'll see how chocolatey it makes it. And then we'll just add a little bit of coffee, just like we did with the coffee buttercream. You know, I think it can hold a little bit more. Beautiful. All right, but I also do want to add in the coffee flavor. Tastes actually really good. I'm impressed with that. So I'm just gonna clean all this up and then we'll get into the decoration. So the first ones that I'm gonna decorate are gonna be the cookies and cream. The two different tips that I usually use to decorate cupcakes are, you know, sort of two main ones from Wilton. I have the 1A tip, which is like a large nozzle, and the 1M tip from Wilton. Here, I'll show you what they look like. This is the 1M. Okay, and so it's like a little star-shaped nozzle, and this is the 1A, which is just sort of the round nozzle. And those are the two really main tips that I use for decorating cupcakes, because I think that you get the best design. I'm gonna do a couple of different designs on the tops of these. These are gonna be more simple because they're gonna be topped with an Oreo, so there's not really much that you can do in terms of variations. So I start in the center, squirt in there, and then I go through and go around the edges, and this is the star shape tip that I'm using. So I think I'm gonna do at least 2 like that. And why not do a third? And then I'm gonna do the same thing, but with the round tip to see if we can get a little spiral on that. Squirt, and then around. I don't know. To me, that just looks like a poop, but whatever, some people like it, so. And then the last one, I'm just gonna try to make a flat shape on the top. And then just sort of pat it down, and then it covers the entirety of the cupcake. So I've got a bunch of different designs, but they also want them to be topped with an Oreo. I'm gonna do one that's sticking straight up out, one that's sort of sitting on an angle. There you go. And then we'll do the same with the poop shape. And then we're gonna do this one, the one that's flat. We're gonna put just the Oreo flat on top of that. I don't know, looks kind of plain to me, but you know, whatever, they might like it. And then we have one more. I don't know what I should do with this. Well, why not do that as well? We'll just put it flat on the top. Poop, there you go. All right, so those are different Oreo designs. So let me take and show you what they look like. All right, so These are the ones that we used with the star tip. So you can see those from the front as well. And then these are the ones with the round tip. I don't know, I don't think that these look as good. But we're gonna let them make their choice and their decision of what they want. Oh, and I forgot. We have our little pink wrappers, or I guess blush is the color that they're called. There you go, so that's the cupcakes with them. I don't know, they kinda, I think, maybe look a little better without the blush wrappers on them, at least being the Oreo cupcakes, but again, we'll see what they say. So I gotta take pictures of these for Jackie and Dave. So now it's time for another relatively easy cupcake that we're gonna make, which is the chocolate and coffee flavor. This one, the last one we did with the cookies and cream, that was for Dave. This one is for Jackie. She's a big coffee drinker and she loves chocolate. So we're gonna do those. And we're gonna decorate them with the coffee frosting, which, by the way, guys, it did help being in the fridge, but it wasn't enough. I did have to add a lot more sugar in order to get it right. Definitely next time, I'm gonna make this a full batch and then just replace the milk in the buttercream recipe with the coffee, because it had to add like a lot of sugar in order to get it right. Again, I've got my two different tips that I'm going to use. These actually have to be topped, not with an Oreo, but they're gonna be topped with chocolate-covered espresso bean. All right, so we're gonna do that as well. So I'm gonna do a couple of different designs here before we top them with the bean. Then we'll do a rosette, which is just going around in a circle. And now we gotta bring in the espresso beans. You can find them at Trader Joe's, I discovered. I did not know that until I started shopping for them. I went online and they're like, oh, Trader Joe's got them. And I'm like, oh, well, that makes it easy because I have Trader Joe's near my house. All right, so I'm gonna take and we'll do a single bean on that one, and on that one, and on the rosette. And then I think that on some of the others, we're gonna try to do, I think I'm gonna try to do 3 beans, although I don't know. Is 3 espresso beans too much? What's the serving size for this? Serving size is about 16 pieces. We all right. All right, so we're gonna put 3 beans on here. So those are our designs for the coffee and chocolate. So now I just gotta photograph these for Jackie and Dave. And I'll show you guys what they look like too, like now. So here we have without the pink wrapper. And then with the pink wrapper. So now it's time to test our plain chocolate and vanilla cupcakes. So again, we're using our star-shaped tip and our round tip. And I've got 3 vanilla and 3 chocolate because this is sort of like the mix. So some of the vanilla cupcakes will have the chocolate, or I guess mocha buttercream on it, and some of them will have the vanilla. And some of the chocolate cupcakes will have vanilla and some of them will have the mocha buttercream. So it just, it's a sort of like a pick and mix kind of deal. So I'm gonna do designs for each of those. All right, and so I'm gonna try with, again, the star-shaped tip first, and then we will do the others, and we'll see what we get. That's actually super pretty. This frosting came out really good. I'm actually really impressed. Way to go, me. Okay, with the chocolate frosting, it 100% looks like a poop emoji. 100%. Yeah, I'm not digging the round spirals. Just not digging them. I hope they don't dig them either, because not a fan. All right, so these look kind of plain. Maybe I should try to jazz them up a smidge. Well, I have some brown sprinkles, some multicolored sprinkles. I wonder if I have pink. All right, well, I do have pink, but as Joshua John Russell would like to say, that is not just pink, that is pink, okay? Oh, but I do have, I have blue in there. Maybe the blue would look good. Maybe that'll make the poop ones look a little better. All right, so I'm gonna try it. We're gonna try the chocolate ones. We could put the sprinkles on that. I think the rosettes look pretty enough on their own. I don't think they need anything on them, but we're gonna put the chocolate jimmies on the spiral one. And we might as well do it on the vanilla one too, right? They should match, I suppose. And then I think I'm gonna zhuzh up the poop ones. I know that that's probably bad that I'm calling them that, but they look like a poop emoji, kids. That's just what they look like. So I'm gonna jazz those up a little bit using these blue sprinkles. Ooh, that's really bright. That's a bright blue. So that's what we're going with those. And then we will take pictures of those. I actually really like both the rosettes and the spiral star shape. Those actually look really good. I'm actually kind of impressed with them. So hopefully they choose one of those. And here we are without the pink wrapper. Look at that, that's cute, isn't it? And that's awesome. This, not so much. The rosettes look nice too. And oh, I really like that chocolate spiral. And then with the pink wrappers. Actually, this is the first time that I'm using the pink wrappers that I actually like the way that the wrapper looks on the cupcake. The rest of them that we've done so far, I wasn't super huge of a fan, but these actually I think kind of look nice. So last but not least, the vanilla. Now guys, I was a little disappointed because I was super impressed with how the chocolate sprinkles, the chocolate jimmies specifically, if you guys don't know that traditional sprinkle shape, like the long shape, that's called a jimmy. The chocolate jimmies looked so good on the chocolate frosting. I said to myself, wouldn't it be cool if on the vanilla ones we had like white jimmies on top of it? And gosh darn it, I went through, I do not have any white jimmies. I have got sprinkles up the wazoo. Here, hold on, let me show you. I have got so many sprinkles here, and not a single one of these sprinkles is just a plain white jimmy. I am flabbergasted that I don't have that in my collection. But anyway, what I did find is I do have these white pearls. Look like this. All right, so I do have the white pearls. So I'm gonna put those on there instead, and I'm gonna say to her, you know, I think it would look better with the white jimmies, but we'll see what she says, okay? She and he, Jackie and Dave. And I'm gonna do the vanilla ones just the same way that I did the chocolate ones. Easy squeezy. Let's take a look. All right, so there we go. Poop, rosette, spiral, spiral. I actually kind of like the pearls, guys. Another rosette and another poop. There you go. And there's with the wrapper. There we go, in focus. And again, this is another one, kids, where I'm digging the wrapper on these. I was not digging it on the first two, but I definitely like them for the plain Janes over here. So I sent off the pictures of the cupcakes to Jackie and Dave for them to make decisions as to what designs they wanted for their wedding cupcakes. Now guys, sadly, we are out of time for today, so I'm afraid that this video is going to have a part 2 where you get to see the end of the story. If you liked this video and you're excited to see part 2, make sure to leave me a like down below. Also, don't forget to hit the subscribe button as well as the little bell for notifications, so this way you're notified every time that I post a new video. And also, if you're interested, don't forget to check out the recipe on my website, linked below, for Dave's Cookie and Cream Cupcakes. And if you want to keep up with me whenever I am not making a video, then please make sure to check me out on both Instagram and Facebook at Joe the Blue Wiz. Well, until part 2, kids, remember you don't have to be a professional chef in order to make magic in the kitchen.